welcome to Survival Dads. So today we are going to be taking a look at this. This is a French two-man F1 tent. So I picked this up from Military Mart. As usual, all the links and stuff will be in the description below. So the French F1. So this is a surplus tent. This is the poly cotton version. There's also a nylon version, and nylon one being a little bit more expensive than the kind of cotton one here. But I really like this tent. I've used it about 4 times now, and I thought I've had enough experience with it to make a video and show you its features and its design. So as I say, it's French surplus. It's very cheap. Well, it's about 25-ish £, and pretty bomb-proof. So I'll set it up and I'll show you what it looks like. But I suppose before that, I should show you the case it comes with. So it comes with a functional kind of fabric carry bag. No straps or anything on the outside. It does have a drawstring closure at the top. The actual pack size isn't that big, really. It's about the size of a roll mat. You could cinch this down even more if you wanted to put some compression straps on here, tighten it up nicely, and then you can quite happily put that at the bottom or on the top of your pack. So weight-wise, I have no idea how heavy this is. I don't think it's very heavy, but what I'll do is I'll actually weigh it at home, and then I'll put in the description how much it actually is, because I can't remember. But it's not that heavy, certainly not as heavy as the Dutch two-man, which is also a nice favourite of mine. But yeah, I wouldn't want to take this up a mountain, but if I'm just trekking into my local woodland or car camping with the family, this is an ideal tent. So without further ado, I'll put it up and I'll show you what it looks like. So first thing you're going to want to do is you want to check the ground, make sure that there's no sharp sticks or big branches, anything that's going to make your night uncomfortable, or could also damage the tent base. It's pretty thick and sturdy anyway, but I just want to make sure. So it does come with 2 sets of poles, and the pegs actually go inside. That's quite a nice little feature. I have replaced some of the guy ropes with luminous cord when I'm out with the kids. They don't run into it. So the poles, or aluminium poles, come in sections of 3. If I can figure it out. There we go. Nope. Okay, I think I put the poles in the wrong bag. Don't let your kids pack your tent up. 2 sets of poles. So the first thing you want to do is you want to peg out the corners. Nice and tight. With the tent being a canvas-like material, that tightness is what keeps the water running off as opposed to soaking through. So we have our corners nice pegged out now. Next thing we're going to want to do, I'll just make sure the camera can still see. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to insert one of the poles. So it actually has a reinforced pocket here, so you can see. Put in it. And you want to pull it up and then roughly peg it out. This will probably be adjusted afterwards anyway. And do the same on the other side. So again, find the pocket, poke it in to the reinforced part, and peg out as before. Here is where you'll be doing your adjusting. Good. Nice and tight. Perfect. Okay, so next you want to be pulling the tent out and then using the corner and centre guy lines, giving yourself a little bit of living room. We start with the corners first. Like so. Put the bags together so you don't lose anything. You want to adjust the poles as needed. We also have a peg hole here. There, and one on the other side. there you have it. That is your French F1 set up. So what you do now is you just make sure that all the guys are correctly tight. And you have a nice taut canvas. So what I'll do now is I'll take you around the tent, show you some of the features, take you inside and show you just how much room we have in this palatial tent. Okay, so here she is. What I've done is I've replaced most of the guy lines with this luminous colour. Just helps me not trip over it in the middle of the night. Come around the other side. We have this side here. Nice tight guy lines, keeping everything together. So the colour is a kind of drab green, kind of grey colour, very kind of suited to woodland. So currently we are late May in England, just to give you an idea of what kind of climate that we're in. So come around to the front and the rear are identical, by the way. There are doors on either side. So you have this like storm flap here to give you a tiny bit of porch and to keep some of the rain away from the zips. Same on the other side. And underneath you can see we have this flap coming down here, which I'll show you on the inside. We actually have a mesh on the inside so you can have some really nice airflow. So it does have a sewn in ground sheet, which is awesome. I hate bugs, so that's a big plus for me. You have the poles here. 3 section poles, one here, one on the other side. You also have mesh up here, so that stops all the bugs and midges getting in there. And the pole also acts as a rain shield there, so anything coming down is going to drip off. One little thing I will add, when you use this, make sure all the zips are outside the tent, not the inside, so any water dripping off will come down and will bead off zips onto the floor. So both the front and the rear have loops, so you can pull the doors back and roll them up and put them in, which I will now demonstrate. Okay, so here we have the doors open on this side. I've left the rear doors still closed. I'll climb in and I'll show you how much room we've got. Okay, so hopefully you can still see me. What I'll do now is I'll actually open up the side vents. That will let a bit more light in and also a bit more air because it's a hot day. So I'll show you how that works now. So running down the entire length of each side, left and right, you have a Velcro closure here. And you simply undo the Velcro either side, like so, and that lets in a lot more light and also a lot more air. So this will help in reducing condensation and keeping you cool in the warmer months. Just like that. So you have a decent amount of airflow coming through now. So you can keep the door closed, keep the bugs out. It does have a fine mesh. Don't know if the camera is picking that up. So that's going to keep all those nasties out. So how much room do we have? So I'll now demonstrate that. So I'm inside the tent now. The camera is just outside. I am 5'10" and I weigh about 84 kilos. Just to give you an example of how big I am, so you can correlate that to how big you are and whether this tent is suitable for you. So if I put my feet inside the tent, down the bottom, they are away from the end of the tent by about a couple of inches, so there's room there. If I lay my head down, I have a good maybe foot above me. So laying kind of straight in the tent, there's about maybe 7 foot of usable room, so you can be a tall guy and you'll fit in here no problem. Or I could lay diagonal if I wanted some more room, and there's plenty of room in here. It's really good. So I have been using this tent for some family camping. It's a bit small for what my girlfriend likes. She likes a big, huge tent, but for me and the kids this is ideal. So I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. We get in here super comfy. Well, I say comfy, I normally get kicked in the head, but that's not the tent's fault. So yeah, you could, if you got small children, they could quite happily lay sideways. So if you wanted to have like a party in the garden, sleep over, something like that, they can come in here, no problem at all. So, plenty of room, and it's nice. I think a tent like this will be a little bit warmer in the winter, perhaps a little bit warmer in the summer, a bit too warm in the summer, but if you find a nice shady spot like I've got now, you should have no problems at all. Just thing I've noticed now, you can see the 2 vents at the top there. So if it is cold and the wind is blowing, you can close the side vents, no problem, and you still have the airflow coming from the bottom to the top. And just to demonstrate, you have got zips, so you have an entrance either side, which I think is a really neat feature. So yeah, I picked this one up from Military Mart. Fantastic condition, really good price. Definitely recommend checking them out. So yeah, this is the French F1. This is the cotton version, not the plasticky nylon version. I've been in this in the rain. It hasn't let me down. As long as it's tight, it should be fine. If you are worried about rain and things like that, you could always put a tarp over it, or you could treat it with a waterproofer like a Farb Seal or something like that. But for me, I intend to use this in somewhat close proximity to a fire, so I don't really want to treat it with any chemicals or things like that. But yeah, so I'm keeping it as it is. If I was expecting a super heavy downpour, I'd probably put a tarp over some of it, or probably all of it, but leave that kind of the front where I'm going to have the fire. But yeah, cracking tent, cool design, not too heavy, bomb proof, and most importantly, it's pretty much bug proof. I don't like bugs. So there we go. Thanks for watching, stay safe, check out the links below, and I'll see you soon.